Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Slick. This is GoFormative Help number 22. Aren't you just so tired of doing decimals? Not me. I love them. This GoFormative is similar to the quiz you took in January, where I give you a fraction and you tell me that decimal or percent. So as you can see, 1/2 is 0.50, 1/3 is 0.33 continuous. You can use a calculator for this if you forgot it, so no worries. You can try to do it from memory. But if you get stuck, go ahead and use a calculator to help you. It's kind of how I would do a lot of these GoFormatives is have a calculator near you, ready to use. Try these out. Try problems out. If you need to use the calculator, that's fine. It's great. Calculators are just tools that are great to use. There's nothing wrong about calculators at all. I love calculators. I also like to do math by hand and know how to do it. It's empowering. So that's what kind of these videos also will show you how to do. So this is just giving you a little test of your, ability to remember what percent or decimal 1/5 is. Now, for everyone out there, just remember 1/5 is you pressing 1 divided by 5 in the calculator. It will spit out 0.2 or 0.20, but you need to times that by 100 to get the percent, which is 20%, because it will move it twice over, and that is the answer. Now, let's say you're sitting there at home like, I'd really love to do these by hand. How do I do that? I can show you that. Most kids your age do not know how to do fraction division by hand. So here goes life-changing fraction. It's like, I do it wrong. No. Okay. So 1 divided by 5 is me asking how many times does 5 go into 1? 5 doesn't go into 1. So because 5 doesn't go into 1, I say that goes there and 0 goes there. Now ask the question, does 5 go into 10? Yes, it does. How many times? Twice. Ta-da! I did it. The answer is 0.2 or 0.20 or 20%. That is how you do fraction division. So the part that most people don't remember is, when do you put that decimal there? You put it there as soon as you say, does 5 go into 1? And it's a no, decimal goes there and the 0 gets dropped in. Both moves happen at the same time. And it's going to be a no because they're fractions. The bottom numbers are bigger. That's why it's going to be a no. It's going to be a no. Watch, here comes another one. You can even see the answer right here. See this? This is the rounded answer. The answer is like 0.1666666 continuous forever, but rounded to 17. So knowing that going into this, you can practice at home 1/6. Again, that's 1 divided by 6 in your calculator, or you can do 6 goes into 1, and it doesn't go into 1. So as soon as you know 6 doesn't go into 1, there goes the decimal, there goes your 0. Now, does 6 go into 10? Yes. How many times? 1 time. Okay, so here's the next part. What is 1 times 6? It's 6. So now you have to subtract. This is long division, and then it's 4. Can 6 go into 4? No, it can't. But at this point, I don't need another decimal. It wouldn't make sense to put another decimal there, so don't do that. You only need 1 decimal 1 time. But because you said no again, go ahead and put that 0 there. That's important. That 0 will come down. Does 6 go into 40? Yeah, count your 6s, okay? 6, 12, 18, 24, right? Then what? Then 30, then 36, 42. Okay, so not 7 times, but 6 times. And what's 6 times 6? 36. So we're subtracting again, long division. It's 4 again. Does 6 go into 4? No, we just did that. we literally just did that. So we brought the 0 down, and I don't want to do the same. I personally don't want to do the same math problem that I just did over and over and over and over and over. So I can just see what I did and go, okay, so it's going to be the same thing over and over and over and over forever for eternity. That's the continuous. That's the whole point of that. And that's your answer, 0.166 continuous. A lot of people write it like this, 0.16 with a line over the 6 because the 6 is what repeats. Or you can round that, right? And round that to 17%. So there it is again. Let's see what else is on here, if anything else you need from me. A lot of that is just you practicing. I would challenge you. Let me challenge you. Try some of these by hand. Try a 5 divided by 8 by hand. You can see the answer there. I'm not hiding the answer. Okay, you see the answer. But see if you can get it yourself. It's empowering, for you to be able to do that and feel good about that. Does 8 go into 5? No, it doesn't. So what comes out? If it's a no, what's the two things that happen? The decimal comes out and the 0. Now, does 8 go into 50? Of course it does. How many times? You got to count your 8s. You got to know your 8s. 6 times? 6 times 8 is 48. Subtract that right there. 50 minus 48 is 2. Can 8 go into 2? No. Can 8 go into 20? Yes. How many times? Twice. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract. Will it ever end? We're about to find out. Can 8 go into 4? No. But can 8 go into 40? Yes. How many times? 5 times. Stop. I'm done. How do you know I'm done? Because 8 times 5 is 40. So what the last step would have been me doing this. Well, I'm done. There's no remainder. There's no nothing. I'm done. 0.625. And some people round that to 0.63. Other people will leave it as 0.625, and that is the answer. So I challenge you to try some, and you'll be happy that you can do those. And that's pretty fun. Try a couple. We have some division again. Keep, change, flip. You're keeping the first one, flipping the sign to a times sign, right? And then you're flipping the second fraction. And you're multiplying straight across. 1 times 3 is 3, and 4 times 1 is 4. There's your answer. If you look carefully, it doesn't say 3/4, so where's 0.75 come from? That's you doing 3 divided by 4 in your calculator and getting 0.75. Or let's say you wanted to use what you just learned. 4 goes into 3. How many times? It doesn't. 4 goes into 30. 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. 30 minus 28 is 2. Does 4 go into 2? No. Does 4 go into 20? Yes. How many times? Exactly 5. So, however you want. Up to you. 1/5 x and then 2/6. That's interesting. Perhaps it wants me to. There's no equal sign. It just says 1/5 x, 2/6. So when that happens, when in Rome, okay, gone. Don't worry about that. 3/5 minus 1/2. We can do that, but you got to make the bottom numbers the same. And I have a previous video on how to do that, and I want you to watch them all to find out where I teach that. But it would be under the fractions lessons. So look for that in the wording, fractions. Same thing, I taught that. Now we have, this is the one that a lot of you have wrong right now in your answer. I would like you to fix it, but I can also show it to you right now. So there's two things going on. We need to solve for x, and apparently x is 1. You can see the answer is 1. Congratulations. But we need to solve for x, and we can't do that until we have the bottom numbers the same. So 3/5 x plus 1/3 x equals 14/15. And I need to find a common denominator between 5 and 3. So what do 5 and 3 have in common? And if you don't know what 5 and 3 have in common, just count your 3's for a while count your 5s for a while. Do you see any number that's the same? Yeah, I do. This one and this one. So how many times did I have to count that? 3 times for the 5 and 5 times for the 3. So that is what's being multiplied. That's how I know what I'm multiplying by. This is getting multiplied by 3/3, whereas this is getting multiplied by 5/5. Because then I get 15 here and 15 here. But whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So 1/3 turns into 5/15 x. And 3/5 turns into 9/15 x. Since they both have x on them, we can actually solve these by just adding. And remember, the bottoms don't add. So it's going to be 14 over 15x equals 14 over 15. So the question is, what does x equal? What times 14 over 15 is going to equal 14 over 15? And that's why it's 1. Way to show that mathematically is to do the reciprocal like I taught. And then watch them cross out. 15 divided by 15 is 1. 14 divided by 14 is 1. Same thing here, 1, 1, 1. So if everything's crossed off, it's not 0. 14 divided by 14 is 1. It's 1. Explain how to graph that. You're going to start at -1 on the y-axis, and you're going to go down 5 over 1. Find the full central tendency of the data 2, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, and 8, 10. And I think a lot of you know how to do that, so go ahead and do that. Common mistakes. Kids will forget the mean. The mean is the average. Add them all up, 2 plus 6 plus 7 plus 7 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 10, and then divide that by how many you have. And it looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you add them all up and divide by 8. Remember, the mode is most common. Remember, see the 8 comes up 3 times, so the mode's 8. You can tell that right away. And what is the first thing we do with all data sets? That's right, we put them in order. And in this case, they're already in order, so you're welcome. The median's going to be split right down the middle. What's in between 7 and 8? 7.5. Okay. And then you have your lower, your min, I should say, min, max, and lower quartile is going to be in between 6 and 7, which is 6.5, and then this one's going to be between 8 and 8. What number is between 8 and 8? And so we can do a quick box and whiskers if we want. You're like, I don't want. Okay, don't do it. It's so pretty. Just so pretty. There you go. Min, max. This is your LQ, your UQ, and your median. IQR. A lot of kids will forget the IQR. Just remember, I'll write it here. IQR is your whatever your UQ is minus your LQ. So what's our UQ? 8. What's our LQ? 6.5. So just subtract those. That's your IQR, your interquartile range. Probability of rolling a 6 on a 6-sided die. Well, there's 6 sides and only one side has a 6, so it's 1 out of 6 chance. Landing on heads. Well, there's 2 sides and only one side's a head, so it's 1 over 2 or a 50%. And then you know how to do that. Awesome. Have a good time doing this. Hopefully it helped you. Subscribe.